Hello, I'm back again. I'm still on Pinterest, but this time, as promised last time, I'm gonna break down to you guys um, the important parts of creating an effective, a beautiful, eye-catching Pinterest pin and how to do that, an easy way to do that. So I'm gonna share my screen because I want to give you a visual of what the pins look like as I break them down, and just show you how to do that. So when you, well, let me share the screen first. And while I'm sharing my screen, for those of you who are coming back, thank you for coming back. And for those of you who are watching for the first time, I'm Danielle Towner of DreamWork Creatives, and I help entrepreneurs build their brand awareness through content marketing, web consultations, and digital products. So, like I said, we're talking about the Pinterest pin today. So, I'm going to show you 3 different kinds of pins. Well, 3 different designs. One was designed by me, one was designed by a freelance graphic designer that I hired, that I contracted with, not hired, but contracted with, and then the other was designed by the Pinterest manager that I contract with. And they're all different, and they're all effective, and I'll tell you why. So this one here is, let me make my screen smaller. This one is actually added to my website. I'm making the screen smaller so you can see the full pin all on one screen, I think. Let me make it a little bit smaller. I don't want to make it too small to where you can't, I don't want to make it too small to where you can't see anything, but you can see most of the pin or the part that you need. So this one was designed by my graphic designer, and the things that you want to pay attention to when you are designing a Pinterest pin, you basically want to think about a book cover or like a magazine. Like that's how nice and crisp and clear and beautiful, like that's how attractive you want to make it look, because it's all about grabbing people's attention. So besides the design, the color scheme, branding, the images that go with it, you also want to pay attention to what the pen actually says and how it's saying it. So let's break all of that down. Like you see the background, they have a nice flat lay like background image. It's a high quality image. It doesn't look blurry. It's not pixelated. It doesn't look ugly. It's a nice, beautiful image, and it matches, the colors match my branding. And also you want to make sure that you're not overusing images, because there are quite a few free stock photo sites out there, and that's fine. I mean, everybody has to start somewhere, and they're adding images all the time, so that's okay. But you just want to make sure that you're not overusing it, because like I said, with Pinterest now, their new rule is fresh pins, like with fresh designs, fresh images, fresh content, everything's fresh, fresh, fresh. So you want to just kind of mix it up, make sure that that is the picture that's not used too frequently. And I'll get into, like, I know like some of the places that you find free images are pixabay.com or unsplash.com, and it's a few others that I just lost. But also Canva has images, and they have more of a collection of them. They have a free version of their account, but they also have Canva Pro, which has like probably like 100 times more images than the free account, and those are exclusive to Pro, and you can actually filter out the Pro ones so that you know that they're not overused with the many free users on the free account that they have. So that's another way to make sure that your images are fresh and that they're not pixelated, they're high quality, because everything is higher quality on the Canva Pro account if you choose to use Canva. Now this pen was designed, like I said, by a graphic designer. She used Adobe. So I provided her with the images, but she used Adobe. And like I said, you want to pay attention to what the pen says. Like, even though I don't think there's a way to, or maybe not yet, to search, to detect search by what is actually on the picture versus the alt tags and descriptions, captions, things like that, the actual text that's there. They're looking at it, and the first thing that they're going to see before they even notice the description is this pen and what the text says on this pen. So you want to make sure that you're using big, bold fonts, that you're using kind of a mix of contrasting fonts. Like, you can use a thinner, like a lightweight font and a bold font, or you can use a more of a classic like sans font and a scripted font, but just make sure that it's one that's not hard to read. Because as you see on this one, she has a mix of it's either no-toe sans or open sans, but it's a sans font. And then she also has playlist script, which is a script font, but it's like a brush script, so it's thicker and it's spread apart wide enough, and it's not thin or it's not so scribbly that you can't see that that's the word planning on here. So it says 3 biggest mistakes people make when planning their business. And another thing she did is she used the shapes, like the different elements. She used shapes, and she used like the little kind of scribble, looks like a marker behind the white words to make them stand out, because she used a white overlay on the background of the picture. So she made these, she used these things to help the most important words stand out. And that's one of the key things that you want to do. So, like I said, she used the different big bold headers. She kept the font and the color specific to my branding, because my branding is, pink and turquoise. And then brown is kind of like an accent color, or chocolate. And then another thing, like, in addition to using those power words and making those words stand out by using different types of emphasis, the elements, the shapes, the boldness, the script, or contrasting fonts, you also want to use your branding as far as either putting your website or your logo somewhere on the pen. And most of the time it fits best at the bottom. Like, some people may put it like in a corner somewhere at the top, but most of the time it works best at the bottom. And that's where most people have gotten, most frequent pinners or Pinterest, that audience, most of the time they've gotten used to seeing it at the bottom. So this is a high quality design pen, and then if you blow it up, it doesn't look bad. If you shrink it down, it doesn't look bad. So this is what you're looking for. And even if it doesn't look specifically like this layout, this gives you an example of everything that I'm talking about you need to have within your pen. So let's go to the next one. This pen was designed by my Pinterest manager. And look at this, the impressions, the saves, the link clicks. She's on point. And like, as you can see, it's still using images in the background, high quality images, and it's using my brand colors. Now, she chose to use a black font, which is still fine because black is, a common color. And she used a contrast between fonts. She used one that's, more of just a common sans font, and it's like a good big bold font. So it's easy to read, easy to see. And then she put other words in a thinner, more lightweight font. Some people call it thin, some people call it light, depending on what the font is. And then she used another type of brush script that's a little bit thinner, but it's really easy to read. Like you can clearly see that that's Side Hustle, because it's not quite a full script, but you know, it's a kind of a brush script, and it helps those important pieces to stand out. You see, she has the 10 really big, and then she has Side Hustle and high paying businesses. Like all of that, if you see that, you're gonna you know exactly what you're finding, what you're getting. And then she put the website danielletowner.com at the bottom. So this is a well designed, high quality pen, and it's been effective with reaching the goals of getting clicks and saves and getting in front of the right people. Now that also has to do with the title on the actual, like when you actually pin the title and description that goes along with it. But you know, like I said, the first thing they see before they see any of that is your pen. Okay, so let's go to the next one, which I'm in my Canva account now, and this is the pen that I showed you in the last video, but these are just some of the pens that I have recently used. These here and this one. And this is another way of doing the pen. Remember I told you that the graphic designer used a white overlay to kind of fade out some of the background picture and help the words stand out. So these use a black overlay, which is very common to do. And as you see, it uses that contrast in, it uses the contrast in font, and it uses a thinner font. This one uses Noto Sans, and then it's using the Noto Sans here in bold, and then it also uses Montserrat for thinner sections. So it's just, some of the text is larger, some of it's smaller. Those are all strategies that you can use to make certain words stand out. And then it has danielletowner.com at the bottom. It has a nice has a nice high quality image in the background, and then I'm going to click here to just show you you know, what it looks like before, and then just pull that back up. So I mean, it's easy to do, especially in Canva. And the size of the pen, the common size is a vertical pen, so people kind of skip over a lot of the square pens, and some people even go longer with the pen. I can't remember the specific dimensions, but I think it's like a 1:2 ratio of the pen, but it's the longer pen. Those kind of stand out if you're seeing like the shorter pens everywhere. So sometimes it's okay to you know, mix that in, some of the longer pens, but this is the typical dimensions of it. I think it's like 735 by 1,000 if I have to pull it out the top of my head. But let's see, I think it'll be right here. Yeah. Oh, 735 by 1,102 pixels. I think it's probably supposed to be 1,100, but same thing. Okay. Now, once you design a pen in Pinterest, it's easy to go back and use that as a template to design again, and not to say you are doing the same exact thing, using the same exact picture, because Pinterest doesn't want you to do that, because again, fresh. But you can just click here and choose this, make a copy, and it'll make a copy of the pen for you to use it again. So I'm just kind of gonna use this to show you, like if you were starting from scratch, it would just be like white back here and it wouldn't be any text. So let me move the picture back, And I'm just gonna kind of use this to show you how easy it is to create a pen in Canva. So I'm gonna go to the photos here, and this is the last one that I used, as you can see. But I'm gonna search in Pro Photos, and you can search for a flat lay, or you can search something called negative space. Negative space is good for like whether even if you weren't using a negative space, even if you weren't using a dark overlay, you could use something like this that has negative space, or even this one here that has negative space on it, and it would give you an image in the picture, but it would give you room to put text there so that you're not running over the picture, and so that your text still shows up well and it's easy to see. And then they have like flat lay pictures that are negative space. So they have tons of pictures to choose from. And then you can choose by different categories. You can do a search, all of that stuff. And then sometime they'll start to put pictures there that they think you might be interested in. But let's see, I'm just gonna use the one that I have that I've added and take this one away. So then you would, let's see, I still want to use the darker overlay, but you can also use the white overlay. But basically what I did is I used this black color, and then I clicked the transparency option here, and I brought it down to 65. So you would just bring it down to wherever you want it to be, the transparency, or to whatever is going to help your text to stand out as best as it needs to. And then you can, like, I use multiple colors. I use a mixture of white and a light pink text. On some of them I use a light turquoise, or you can just do all white. Like, you know, it's up to you how you want to do it, but you would click the A here for text color, and you would choose the color. It didn't make a huge difference because the pink was so light, but the name is still in pink. But when you click on the text, that is how you change the font. And another thing about the Canva Pro is it has like tons and tons and tons of fonts to choose from. But even if you bought a font, like if you bought a font from the font.com, or from what's the other place that I like to use? I think it's called the Creative Market, creativefabrica.com. Then you can, you know, purchase that, and you can upload your own font to use here if you want to make that like a signature part of your pens or your brand. So that is how you do that. And then this like if you were just adding, you can duplicate the text by clicking Control D, or using using the duplicate options here. There's all kind of things you can do. You can change the font to hollow, basically like giving you an outline font, or putting a shadow on the back of it, all kinds of things that you can do to make that font stand out. But if you were adding new text, you would just click on the text here. If you want to add new elements, you click on the elements here. And the element that I use to make this overlay is I just basically took the square and I reshaped. I used the sides of it and the corners to reshape it to fit the pen dimensions that I needed. And so they even have icons you can use, but I prefer, like, it seems like I get better results with just using an actual image versus an icon. So that's how you do it. It's quick, it's simple, and once you create one, you can duplicate it. I mean, you can copy it how I showed you, and then make adjustments and create a whole new pen, and change the text and everything that you need to do to change the picture. Another thing I was going to tell you, I showed you 3 different pen types and 3 different examples of what is best as a high quality pen. But marketing is about testing, and just life in general is about trial and error and learning from your mistakes or learning from your successes and failures and growing from it. So you may have to try or test different things to see what works as far as your pen design, because that's one of the things that I've had to do. Like my pens didn't, some of my pens don't look like this. They didn't start off like this, and then some of them work out better than others. So you may have to look at, okay, um, was it designed different this time? Did I do better with my search engine optimization? My description and title, was it just a better topic or better content? You have to look at all those factors and just continue testing and refining it until you master that strategy. And then they'll go and change some of the rules again. But but I hope this was helpful. Canva is super easy to use, but as you saw last time, Tailwind, which is the automation scheduler, is coming up with their own pen creation tool that may be easier to use. I haven't tried it out yet, but hopefully I'll get to do that and show it to you guys. But if you're interested in Canva, I'll post a link to that to let you know how you can sign up for that and try it out. Let me know if you have any questions about anything you've seen today. Let me know if you run into anything when you're designing your pens. And thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And also, if you are interested in getting pen templates that you can just you can just basically click a link and they'll show up as a template in your Canva account once you sign up, and all you have to do is make the changes to it. I have those templates available for you, and all you have to do is go to danielle.com/shop and you'll find the Pinterest pin template bundle where it has a variety of those pins for you to be able to adjust and make your own. So I will post that link in the comments too. And thank you again, and talk to you soon.